talking about lists are used to store multiple items in a single variable. So I've talked about that before, that we can have something like users equals to, I said Isaac, have something like this, Isaac, James, and just like that you have more also. So this is an example of a list. Let me zoom in a bit. So this example of a list. So just know that I can use to store multiple items. So this is item 1 in the list, this is item 2 in the list, right? And also it can hold different type of data simultaneously. So you must not store only string. You can put comma, you can say 25, you can put comma, you can say true. So it must not store only one type of data. So in other words, it can store multiple data type. Another thing you need to know about lists is that it is ordered. When you mean it is ordered, is that it have index, it has position. This one is called is index 0. Indexing starts from 0. So this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, this is index 3. So just like that, as you are going front, you have more index. But if you are counting from back to this direction, this is index -1, this is -2, this is -3, this is -4. So if you are counting from front, it starts from 0. If you are counting from back, it starts from -1. So it's something you just need to know. So let's talk about some methods that work on lists. So what I will do, I will just go to my terminal, and because of time, let's not make this tutorial be too long. So I will come to my terminal and start doing this method. So I will invoke my Python interactive share by pressing Python. But before then, let me clear the screen so that this code will not be showing again. So I've cleared the screen. So I will just type Python and press enter. So this is my Python interactive share. So this is where I'll be doing the methods that applies to lists. So now if we have cat, let's assume we have cat like this. So you know cat will contain list of items. Let's say apple, let's say mango. So this is a variable cat, and it holds a list of items. I already explained to us that you use square brackets to signify a list, and you have list of items inside the square bracket. So now the first method we are going to be looking at is append. So if I should say cat dot append, so append is to add, let me put the closing bracket. You know, I always tell you, when you are using method, you put dot, write the method, and you have bracket. Then inside the bracket is the arguments that the method needs. So now inside it, if I should put let's just put cherry like this. If I put cherry and press enter, what happened now is that this append have add this item to this cart. So in other words, when you see somebody click add to cart, you notice, you know, I don't want to be making this thing too long. If not, I would have go to website to show you. But when you click add to cart, you notice the cart item will increment, like the length of the item will increment by 1. Then if you click on the cart, you will see the item you add to the cart. So that is something like this that is going on. I remember I was trying to tell us originally that I classify all these these methods that act on data, I classify them as CRUD. So it's either they are creating, or they are retrieving, or they are updating, or they are deleting. So like this one now is actually updating because it adds to the item. So it have updates this list now. So if I should say cat and press enter, so you see it's now have sharing. So it's now it have 3 items in it. Also, we have a case in which you want to extend a list by another list. So in that case, I can say cat.extend. So when I put extend, inside this bracket now, inside this bracket, I'm going to pass another list I want to use to extend this one. Extend is like combining 2 lists together. So I'll pass another list I want to use to extend this one. So I'm going to put the square bracket opening and closing. Now this is a list. Now inside the list, let me just say, let me put like 2 fruits inside. Let's say orange, let's say pineapple, and press enter. So if I should call back the cart now, you notice 2 items has been added to it. So you notice there is little difference between append and extend. So append, we just add only 1, but extend, you add more than 1 item using extend. So what about if you want to add item to a specific position? Because now both of them add it to the ND. Like you see, when we use append here, when we put sherry now come to the ND. Sherry now become the 3rd item on the list. But when we now put extend, we put these two now take the last position again. But what about if I want to put it at a particular position? So we have what we call insert. So I can say cart.insert. So insert is another method again. But what insert does is that it has 2 arguments. The first one is the position you want to insert it, while the second one is the value you want to use, as in the value you want to put in that position. So what I will do, I will say, let's just say 2, comma. So if I say 2, what is the index of 2 here? This is 0, apple is 0, mango is 1, this one is 2. So it's going to take the place of sherry. That means sherry will push to this right hand side. Is going to take the position of sherry there. So if I say cart.insert, I put 2. So meaning I want to put another item to be in the position 2. So what I will write now is the item I want to be in that position. I can write grape. If I write grape and press enter. Now let us let me spell it. Okay. Anyway, let's just leave it like that. So what I will just do now? Let me write cart and print it. So when I print it, you notice grape. Although this spelling is not correct, I'm supposed to put e here. So but you notice grape have take the 3rd position because we put 2 here, and I told us indexing, like counting start from 0. So this apple is 0, this one is 1, sherry is 2. So it takes the place of sherry. Sherry will now move to the next position. So that is what happens. So insert an item. This is this insert here. Insert an item at a particular position in the list. So let's talk about remove. What about if I want to remove an item from the list? I can say cart.remove. So when you use the word remove, you put the item you want to remove. So let me remove this grape and press enter. So now let us return back our value and see what we have inside. So if you press cart and press enter, you notice grape is no longer there. We have removed grape from the list. So that is what remove does. But it removes it like, just like this is like something you do in your shopping cart. When you move an item from your shopping cart, when you add an item to your shopping cart, it's something like that is also going on. Or when you are creating an item, you are updating it, something like that is also going on. So what about if you want to remove the item and return it? Like for example, there are some projects you may work on. The owner of the platform can say, okay, when an item is deleted, I want to know the item that is deleted. Probably the person maybe want to play trick on the owner. So the owner of the project said, once an item is deleted from my website or from my app, I want to know the item that is deleted. In that case, you use what we call pop. So you will not use this delete again. I mean this remove. You won't use remove. You use what we call pop. So how do you use pop? You just say cart.pop. So inside the pop, you can pass the index of the element you want to remove. So when pop remove the item, pop return it. That is the good part of it. But when you use remove does not return it. So if I should say pop, I say 1. What am I trying to say? Which item here am I trying to remove? So you have, this is 0, this is 1. I'm trying to remove mango. But mind you, I would have stored it to another variable, because when you use pop, it returns the item. So let's just press enter. I think it will print it under. So you see it, it puts it under. But normally you are supposed to save this thing to a variable so that you can now further use it in processing. So if you notice all these methods we will be looking at, you notice some method add to the list, some method remove from the list. That is the code we are talking about. Now, what about if you want to clear the cat? When you see somebody clear cat, how do you clear the cat? If you say cat dot clear like this, so this one will clear the cat. Before I do this cat dot clear, if I should just write cat, press enter, you notice the cat contain apple, cherry, orange, pineapple, right? Now let me say cat dot clear and press enter. Now let us run our cat again and press enter. You notice, see now the cat is clear. There is no more item in the cat. So cat as in clear is a method that remove all items from the cat. So because we are doing tutorial, we still let me add one item to it. So I will use this append that we have talked about before. Let me add orange to it and press enter. So if I call the cat now, you notice orange now is now in the cat. So let me just add one more item to it. Let me add apple to it. Press enter. So if I call the cat, you see we have two items in the cat. We have orange and we have apple. So now let's talk about index. So how do you return the index of the item? So let's say you want to return index of a particular item in the cat. But mind you, this cat we are using is a variable name. So if you remember, if you go up, it's a variable name that we created. Look at it here. When we created it, we call it the variable name cat. It actually contains a list of items. So it's that list we will be working with all this while. As in, we just say this variable name, which is cat dot append, which is the append method. We use the extend method. We use the insert method. We use remove method. We use pop method. We use clear method. Now I'm going to talk about another method called index. So if I should say cat dot index, so index is like you want to return the index of a particular item in the cat. So if I say index of apple, you see the index of apple is 1. It gives you the position, like position of an item in a list. That's use index. How about if you want to count how many of that item is in the list? You can say something like cat dot count. So inside the count, now you pass the item you want to count. So but before I do this one, let me increase apple to 2 by saying cat dot append inside. Let me put apple so that apple can become 2 inside. Oh, sorry, I did not close the quotes. So press enter. So now let me call the cat. Now you notice we have 2 apple in the cat. So now let us do cat dot count. So let's count how many apple we have inside. So inside this count method, you write the item you want to count inside and press enter. You notice it said 2. But if I say count, inside it I put orange and press enter, it return 1. So there is only 1 orange inside and there is 2 apple inside. So this is how you will see a shopping cart. You will see orange, you will see the number of item, and you also see the total cost of those 2 orange. Then you see if it contain apple, you see apple, you see the quantity. If apple is 1, if you go to your shopping cart, you see it. I don't want to be going to website to be showing you all this, but you will see it when you normally buy things online. You see they will be able to count your items, as in each item you have, the quantity and the cost. They will be able to count it for you. There is another method called sort. So what sort does is that it arranges a list in ascending order. So you can have cat. If you see it before now, let me press cat so that you see how it is. You notice it. You notice orange, apple, but normally, If you want to arrange it in ascending order, apple is supposed to come before orange, as in alphabetically. So we have a method that does that. If I say cat dot sort and put this bracket at the end, I press enter. Now let us call our cat and see what it contains. So you notice apple now come before orange because why? Sort arrange it alphabetically. But mind you, this one is permanent. We have sorted, the one that will do it temporarily. In other words, you can store that new sort to a variable, but let's not be talking much about it. So but just know that sort arrange the items in a list alphabetically. But we have another one called sorted. So sort arrange it permanently, sorted arrange it temporarily. Like now, what I have done now, I've altered the actual cards. But if you want to have another duplicate of it, you can use sorted and have another duplicate of it. So now we have another one called reverse. If you want to arrange them in reverse order, so I can say cat dot reverse like this, cat dot reverse like this. So if I should run the cat now, you see it, I've reversed it, like bringing the higher alphabet ones to the beginning. Like example now, let me append another item to the list. But now I don't know the name of a fruit that starts with Z, but I'm just doing this for tutorial sake. Let me call it zen and press enter. So if I should call my cat, you notice zen is not at the end. You notice now zen is an alphabet, like Z is like the least, like the last alphabet, right? So if I should say cat dot reverse now and press enter. Now let us call our cat and see what you see. It's zen is not the last one because reverse will reverse it, like kind of a mirror effect. So it will reverse it. The last will become the first. The first will become the last. So what about if you want to have a copy of your list, like the cat, you want to have another copy of the cat? So some people can use this in case of whereby a user is logged in, probably the user have not logged in. Like let me put it this way: a login user have already added some item to their cart. So we have a cart attached to the user normally. Then now, let me assume an anonymous user is browsing your site. I mean, that anonymous user is actually that same user that was logged in before. So now when the anonymous user add item to the cart and probably he want to check out, we will ask the user to log in so that at least we can know who is buying item from us. So when this user log in and we detect that it's actually the previous user that was logged in, we can merge the cart together. Or in some cases, you can have a copy of the cart. So that is when we use this copy. So let me assume I want to have a copy of this cart now. I can say, let me say new cart equals to cart. Now this new cart is a new variable I'm just bringing in. I just want to store a copy of this cart to this other new cart. I can say new underscore cart equals to cart dot copy. So I can say copy. So when I press enter, what it does is that it puts a copy of this cart, which is this cart we already have here. It store it to new cart. So this new cart will now be a variable we have, which is also contain these exact items. So if I say new underscore cart, you see it contains that same thing. If I should say cart also, it contains the same thing. So you can choose to modify any of them you want to modify. I can say new underscore cart dot append. So I want to append an item to new underscore cart. I can append which one am I going to append now? Let me append grape and press enter. So now if we should call new underscore cart, it now contains grape. This grape is not in the previous cart. If I should say cart do not contain grape. but new underscore cats contain grape. So we will just leave this as in we'll just stop in list here. So let's move over to tuple.